Hi again and welcome to Doing Life with Itzy on a Bitsy Budget. How do you get good crispy fried chicken without flour? Let me show you. Well, let's talk about how we're going to fry this chicken. I'm going to use my safe basic bacon grease. This is a keto version, really, if you're on keto, that you can fry your chicken and it's going to be great. You're going to use your bacon grease that you've got left over, and I'm going to do chicken thighs. A couple of things about chicken thighs are sometimes they're a little harder to get fried all the way, and so you can just take your knife and kind of cut a slit in them beside the bone, and what it's going to do is it's going to allow, or if there's a thick piece you can do it, allow that grease to get in there and cook it real good. Make sure you don't puncture your skin because that's going to be nice and crisp for you. Let me wash my hands again and we'll get. So the trick to frying chicken homemade anytime that makes it good is you want to cover your chicken. And what I do is I start off getting my grease really hot. Again, we're not going to prepare this in any way except for putting salt, pepper, and a little garlic on it. You don't need paprika to brown it up or anything. It's going to brown up just fine. I'm going to turn my stove burner on high to start with, and I'll put some bacon grease in there in just a second. I'll let it get going. The other thing you want to do is you want to cut those slits in any thick, say you were frying chicken legs, you want to cut a little slit in there by the bone so that it gets all the way done. You're going to cook it exactly, on thighs, 6 minutes on one side, and you're going to turn them over and you're going to cook them another 6 minutes with the lid on both times, and that it will be done and it'll be crispy. So let's get started. First of all, I keep my bacon grease, and I usually have it sitting here. I know you've seen me use it for many different things, and you all are always asking me questions about what to use it for, and is it okay to leave it out? And it certainly is. What I'll do is melt this and see how much is melted. And if I need more, I'll put a little more in there. But you want to just go ahead and get that bacon grease good and melted. And I will need a little more because I can tell right now. If I didn't have enough, I'd just fry a little bit more bacon. Again, this is great seasoning. If you're not from the South, I'm not sure that you believe me, but believe me, it does work. So let's get that getting good and hot, and we'll prepare our chicken. So I'll just show you on a couple of pieces what we're going to do, and then I'll finish them up and we'll turn back on the video. So I'm going to slice this right beside the bone on each side, and if there is a thicker piece, I've already cleaned my chicken and all and have it sitting here just to save time. Just find that bone and give it a little slice, and it'll get done. You don't slice it all the way through the skin, just next to the bone. Then what you'll do, I'll start off with these pieces, is I just salt and pepper it. Well, I'll just go ahead and do more with pepper. And then I start off cooking it with the skin side down. Now the reason I like to do that is because I like the way the skin browns. And I'll have to wipe all these off. I know you see me touch them. Don't worry about it. I'll clean them in a minute. And I go ahead and I like the skin, the way it turns out after you cook it, when you cook it first. That's my preference, but it really doesn't matter because you'll turn it over and you'll do it on the other side anyway. So however you want to do it's fine. There's no real right or wrong way. But I'll get these all ready and then we'll turn back on the video. I want to show you a trick that I do normally when I fry anything. Is I just put a piece of tin foil. I like these sheets that I get from Sam's, but they actually sell them at the Dollar Tree. Is I just put something so that nothing goes between my stove and my countertop. I just put a piece of tin foil down like that and throw it out. Anything that gets on there, gets on there. All right, so with this is good and hot. You can see the steam coming up. And I'll go ahead and I'll put my chicken in. I've salt, peppered it. I've cut my slits in it. And I'm turning this to a medium. It was on high. Medium is around 6. So I'm going to put all my chicken in. See, I'll do 4 and then I'll do 4. I've got 8 pieces. And like this one, the skin had moved a little bit. I'll just straighten it out. Put it in there. Let me wash my hands real quick again. for 6 minutes. Now 6 minutes are good for a slitted thigh. You can do 8 minutes if you're cooking a whole chicken and you've got chicken breast and stuff like that. But you don't need any flour, you don't need any breading at all to get it good and crispy with just that bacon grease. So I'll go ahead and I'll come back and turn these over in 6 minutes for you, and we'll show you what they look like. Let's check them out. They should be good and brown by now, and they are. Now keep in mind that garlic powder is going to be a little darker than what you might be used to, and if you want to eliminate that, that's fine, but everybody that eats the chicken here likes that garlic on it. So that's why I put it on there. And now we're going to turn it over and we'll cook it for another 6 minutes. Also, I added 2 more pieces of chicken in here, and I'll tell you why. Because when you have a lot of empty space and there's grease, it gets hot. So the size pan I had after I started cooking, I thought I ought to put 2 more pieces in there just in case. So I added the 2 pieces and cooked 6 instead of 4. But I'll go ahead and one other thing I do at this point is I go ahead and salt the top part again, so it'll kind of cook in it after it being turned over. All right, I'll set the timer for 6 minutes and we'll be right back. So the buzzer just went off, and I let it cook for another minute because it didn't look quite done to me. But I think it's good and done now. Let me turn that off. You can see that it is very crisp at the top here. And, you know, I think that if you didn't like it quite as brown as I've got it, you can just cook it at a lower temperature and cook it for a little bit longer, and it probably wouldn't do that, but that's basically that garlic powder, so you can leave that off too, and if you don't like that brown look. But for me, it doesn't matter, and we like the taste of that garlic. But there's your chicken, and it's all ready. It's very simple. It looks just like you have a breading on it, but you don't. Comes out just fine. I hope you enjoyed this recipe, and if you're on keto and you can't use all those things that you normally do, this works just fine. I hope you have a nice day. Please like, subscribe, share, and follow, and I'll see you next time.